Internet Information Server, or you can say services, is one of the most popular web server from Microsoft that is used to host and provide internet-based services to web applications. In terms of web applications, you can say it is ASP.NET and ASP web applications. As we are saying, it is a web server. So next question is, what is web server? What is web server? So web server is responsible for providing a response to request that comes from the user. That means when any particular request comes from a client to the server, that is IIS, it takes the request from the user and process it and send the response back to the users. IIS has its own ASP.NET process engine to handle the ASP.NET request. And the way we configure an ASP.NET application depends on what version of IIS the application is running on. That means in simple terms we can say web server. Suppose user requests for some information, server receives that request, process the request and send back to the user. IIS also helps the organizations to increase the websites and applications availability while lowering the system administration cost and deployment cost. IIS supports HTTPS, HTTP, FTP, FTPS, SMTP and NNTP protocols. Latest version of IIS is 10.0 in Windows 10. Now we'll see how to configure IIS. So open control panel, go to the control panel. Here you will see programs, click on programs, click on turn Windows feature on or off. You will see here Windows features. Here we'll get that is Internet Information Services, that is IIS. Click on this plus sign, so it will expand the IIS. Here you will see under the Internet Information Services you will get the different available services by category, that is FTP server, web management tools, World Wide Web services. We can enable and disable these services. In first, that is FTP. It stands for File Transfer Protocol. Basically, FTP is used to copy files to and from remote computer systems on a network using transmission control protocol or internet protocol, that is TCP/IP. This protocol allow users to use FTP commands to work with the files, such as listing the files and directories on the remote system. For IIS, enabling FTP means we are able to transfer files via web browser. This FTP contains FTP extensibility and FTP service. In terms of FTP extensibility, this enables support for FTP extensibility features such as custom providers, ASP.NET users or IS Manager users. Another one is the FTP service. It enables FTP publishing on a web server. If you want to enable these options, we need to check these check boxes. That is, we can select this one. So FTP is enabled. Second option is there, that is web management tool. This particular web management tool having the different categories, that is IS6 management compatibility. In IS6 management compatibility, click on this plus sign to expand it. We'll see IS6 management console. So in terms of IS6 management compatibility, basically it provides the forward compatibility for our applications and scripts, and that uses the admin based object that is called as ABO and Active Directory Service Interface that is called as a ADSI APIs. In that you can see there is one option, that is IS6 management console. This IS6 management console provides infrastructure for administration of remote IS 6.0 servers from this particular computer. If you want to enable this, you need to select this checkbox. Another one is there, IS6 scripting tools. This provides the ability to continue using IS 6.0 scripting tools that were built to manage IS 6.0 in IS 7.5. These scripting tools especially useful if our applications and scripts uses ActiveX data objects, that is ADO or ADSI. It stands for Active Directory Service Interface APIs. This IS 6.0 scripting tool requires the VAS configuration API. Another option is there, that is IS6 WMI compatibility. In terms of IS 6.0 WMI compatibility, which provides the Windows management instrumentation, that is called as a WMI scripting interfaces to programmatically manage and automate tasks for IS 7.5 by using a set of scripts that we create in the WMI provider. We can also manage the sites with this service by using the WMI CMI Studio, WMI event registration, WMI event viewer, and WMI object browser tools. We can select this or we can enable this both the services. One more is there called as IS Metabase and IS6 configuration compatibility. Then another option is there, that is IS Management Console. IS Management Console provides the infrastructure to manage the IS 7.5 by using the graphical user interface. We can enable this particular option. Then IS Management Scripting and Tools. IS Management Scripting and Tools provides the infrastructure to manage an IS 7.5 web server programmatically by using commands in a command prompt window or by running the script. We can use this tool when we want to automate commands in a batch files, or when we don't want to incur the overhead of managing the IS by using the graphical user interface. Another option is there, that is IS Management Service. This IS Management Service provides the infrastructure to configure the IS 7.5 user interface, IS managers, from remote management in IS 7.5. We can enable this both the options by selecting these particular checkboxes. So this is regarding the web management tools. One last option is there, that is worldwide web services. By clicking on this plus, we can expand that options. So worldwide web services having 5 options are there, that is application development features, common HTTP features, health and diagnostics, performance features, and last one is the security. We can expand the application development feature by clicking on that plus sign. You can see there are different .NET extensibility 3.5 different options are there. Then .NET extensibility 4.6, application initialization, ASP.NET 3.5, ASP.NET 4.6, CGI, same way. So in terms of the extensibility, it provides the managed code developers. We can change, add and extend web server functionality in the request pipeline, the configuration and the UI. Basically the developers can use the familiar ASP.NET extensibility model and rich .NET APIs to build the web servers features that are just as powerful as those written using the native C++ APIs. Then you can see there is option for ASP, that is, as we know, ASP stands for active server pages, which provides the server-side scripting environment for building the websites and web applications. And this ASP offers the improved performance over the CGI script by providing the IIS with native support for both the VB script and JavaScript. Then there is one more option, that is ASP.NET. Similarly, ASP.NET provides a server-side object-oriented programming environment for building websites and web applications that uses the managed codes. And ASP.NET is not just a new version of ASP, but it provides the robust infrastructure for building the web applications. One more option is there, you can see there is a CGI. CGI stands for Common Gateway Interface, which defines how a web server passes information to an external program. Then similarly you will see there is option for IIS API extensions. IIS API stands for Internet Server Application Programming Interface extensions that provides the support for dynamic web content deployment using IIS API extension. Then one more option is there, that is IIS API filters. In case of IIS API filters, it is a Internet Information Application Programming Interface filter which provides the support for web applications that use IIS API filters. Then there is a server side includes. The server side includes stands for SSI, is a scripting language that is used to generate the HTML pages dynamically. If you want to enable all these options, you need to select these check boxes. So this is regarding the application development feature. Next there is a common HTTP feature. We can expand it by clicking on this plus sign. You will see default document, directory browsing, HTTP errors, HTTP redirection, static content, web dev, publishing. When talking about the default document, it allows us to configure a default file for the web server to return when user do not specify the file in the URL. So this default document make it easier and more convenient for users to reach our website. Then another option is there, that is directory browsing. It allows users to see the content of directory on our web server. Another option is there, that is HTTP errors. HTTP errors customizes error messages returned to user when browser's web server detects a default condition. Then HTTP redirection. This HTTP redirection provides the support to redirect user request to a specific destination. Then static content. Static content basically allows the web server publish static web file formats such as HTML pages and image files. We can use static content to publish files on web server that users can then view using a web browser. Then web dev publishing. Last one is a web dev publishing. That is it stands for web distributed authoring and versioning that enables you to publish a file to and from a web server by using HTTP protocol. Because web dev uses HTTP, it works through the most firewall without modifications. So this is regarding the common HTTP feature. Then third option is there, that is health and diagnostics. You can expand it by clicking on this plus sign, where you will get the custom logging, HTTP logging, logging tools, ODBC logging, request monitor and tracing. One more option is there, that is performance features. We can select all these options. Then in case of performance feature, there is a dynamic content compression and static content compression. We can select both these, and last one is there is called as the security, which provides the security for websites or web applications, which includes the basic authentication, Windows authentication, then IP security, digest authentication. When we are talking about the basic authentication, basically basic authentication offers the strong browser compatibility appropriate for small internal networks. This authentication method is rarely used on the public internet. Then you will see there is a different security mechanisms over there. Then URL authorization, then Windows authentication. So you can see there is one more, that is the IP security. In case of IP security, IP and domain registration allow we to enable or deny the content based on the organizing IP addresses or domain name of the request. Then Windows authentication. In case of the Windows authentication, is a low cost authentication solution for internal websites, and this authentication scheme allows the administrator in a Windows domain to take advantages of the domain infrastructure for authenticating the users. So we'll see here we have enabled all three options, that is Internet Information Services. We have enabled FTP server, web management tools and worldwide web services. Once all the option is enabled as per our requirement, click on OK. So it will configure iOS 10.0 on our machine. You will see here applying the changes. Once all the changes gets applied, or in another terms you can say, once the iOS, that is Internet Information Services, is installed on your machine, then you will get one folder in case of the C drive. In my case it is a C drive where my operating system is installed. There is one folder get created on that particular drive, that is called as a inet pub. Once it is completed, you will get one folder over there. Suppose in my case it is C drive where my operating system is installed. You will see there is one folder, that is inet pub. That particular folder gets created over here. Or if you want to check that is whether iOS is installed or not, then you can open the web browser. In my case I am having Google Chrome. See, iOS installation still is in progress. Once it is completed, then you can type here, that is localhost. You can check by typing localhost as a URL. You can see Windows features. Windows completed the requested changes. Close this one. Now you can see in case of C drive, there is one folder ASPNET pub gets created. You will see the different directory structure over there. Now we want to check whether IS is installed or not. You can type the localhost. Now see the internet information services. That means IS get installed. So this is how we can configure the IS on IS 10.0 on Windows 10. Thank you.